I was scrolling through my Steam backlog this week, looking for a classic to play. Oh yeah, Mirror's Edge. I forgot that existed. I gave it a shot, played it through to the end, and I'm just gonna come out and say it, I didn't have a great time with this one. I'd never played Mirror's Edge before. It came out in 2008 when I was busy making my transition from being a broke teenager to being a broke young adult. So there's a lengthy dry spell of games in the late aughts that I missed. It looked cool. I always assumed that it was a game about a dystopian future where Apple had taken over and imposed their white rectangular aesthetic on the whole world. As it turns out, that's not too far off. It is, in fact, a story of vague freedom fighters fighting vague authority. I guess it resonates with hip young people who consider the word corporation to be a slur, but are also willing to play a game made by a corporation on a box made by another corporation. You play as Faith, a freedom fighter, or runner more often, who's brave enough to resist authority and wear white pants while sliding and rolling around. The story is minimal, but that's fine. No points off for that. I don't think packing in more cutscenes or stuffing audio logs everywhere would have been an improvement. If Mirror's Edge does one thing well, it's its vibe. So we might as well start there. I'm gonna lay into Mirror's Edge pretty hard in a minute, so let's say the positive stuff now. The core of the game is parkouring across rooftops, jumping and climbing with the city below you, and that part is fantastic. When you hit your groove and can move smoothly from place to place, it feels incredible. But more than that is the feeling it evokes. Just this tremendous sense of alienation. You're alone most of the time, with this beautiful city below you constantly that you rarely ever get to see. All you can do is scurry around the outside of it, never getting to be a part of it. It's the feeling that someone without money gets when looking in a store window. The feeling that there's a wonderful place right at your fingertips that isn't for you, that you don't get to be a part of. Good stuff. Like I said, vibes. And if that were the whole game, it might be quite decent. The problem is pretty much everything in the game that isn't that. Namely, combat. Why does this exist in this game? Did some executive think that a game couldn't be interesting without guns and force this in? Setting aside how ludicrous it is that your bony 5'4" hero can punch out a SWAT guy in full body armor, what does this even add? Oh, it's thrilling the first time when the bullets start flying and the music starts pumping, but once you figure out that Mirror's Edge operates on action movie rules where the hero basically can't get shot as long as she's moving, all excitement goes right out the window. When enemies show up, you can run or you can fight, and both options kinda suck. Run and it becomes a game of trial and error. Make one wrong turn, one bad snap decision, and you get Swiss cheese, try again. This gets old real quick. Or fight. Slowly punch and shoot your way through an area, lose any sense of speed and momentum, and still wind up doing it all over if you whiff at any point. And this is literally like half the game. You want to know how every mission in Mirror's Edge plays out? Here it is. Go to a new area, poke around, but oh no, we tripped an alarm or someone called the cops or something, so buckle up. Here's another shooting sequence to stumble through, and the enemies get deadlier and more numerous throughout the whole game, which just extends the aggravation. Speaking of late game, I hope you didn't get too attached to those open, free-running on rooftop sections, because later the game likes to keep you indoors, so instead of wall running and zip lining, you can slowly edge around a bunch of cramped industrial environments, hunting for the right piece of scaffolding to climb. And this really highlights how slow a lot of the climbing can be. I figure Mirror's Edge wanted to evoke realistic parkour, so a lot of the scaling and climbing reflects that, but come on. You have a character that can take out an entire SWAT team, but climbing a pipe slightly faster is out of the question? Of all the places to be a stickler for realism, that's where you put your foot down? If it wasn't clear, I didn't particularly enjoy Mirror's Edge as a whole. I don't think it holds up, and I wouldn't recommend it. Even the stuff it does best has been done better. Batman Arkham Asylum came out 2 years later and lets you scale in parkour, plus an awesome brawling combat system, plus a grappling hook. Titanfall 2 lets you scramble and wall run like a fiend, and also lets you have a big robot buddy. And yes, I know Titanfall 2 came out in 2016, and yes, I know it might seem unfair to compare Mirror's Edge to a game that came out 8 years later, but here's the thing, I'm looking at this from the perspective of me and your average Joe or Jane who's sitting there in current year, on your day off maybe, looking for a nice 8 to 12 hour adventure to binge through in one sitting. When you're scrolling through Steam looking for that 75% off gem from years past, games like this are what you're up against. Although, now that I think about it, maybe it would have been more fair to compare Titanfall 2 to Mirror's Edge Catalyst, since that actually did come out the same year, but I couldn't bring myself to play it. You can call me lazy or unthorough, that's fair, but I just couldn't bring myself to. I'd seen enough glistening rooftops to last me for a while. Also, I started feeling motion sick, and I didn't want to spend another day dealing with the Merbles. If you think it's worth it, let me know in the comments, but as it stands, I think I'm good. Ultimately, I wouldn't call Mirror's Edge a bad game, just a dated game that's been surpassed since its release. It's iconic, and I know a lot of people still hold it in high regard. I may not have enjoyed it much, but I respect it. But for now, I think I'm gonna go play something else.